Yo, YouTube. Gonna put some lubricant here into a syringe. So if you're watching this, this is like my first, I think I kind of bollocks this up a little bit. There's air in there. And it's all, okay, that was a terrible idea. I'm just gonna tell you right now, it did not work. Oh, see, it's dripping. Okay. Alright. This is pro level action, people. I just ordered these off Amazon. Alright, this is why we have plastic bags. Okay, I need to clean that Teflon stuff off my hands. Hold on. Alright, I don't know why I'm compelled to say hold on, like it's gonna stop anybody from closing the window. Okay. All right, much better. Let's dispense with all that business. Lubricants, tools. Actually, I'll show you the tools I've got here. I really like these little guys. These are those little key poppers. They've helped a whole lot. No right channel audio. Yeah, sorry, dude. Floppy, you're totally right. I gotta fix that. Sorry, first live stream, you know. So here's the, well, let's unbox proper. Wait a second, we're gonna do a simulated live unboxing. It is actually a live unboxing, but I already started. So there we go. There's a beautiful box. I've done some package work before, so I have to say, I think they did a good job. You know, it's not crazy complex or over the top. There's a little bit of foam in here. Nice little card, little Christmas card. Thank you, Mateo. And here we are. We've got this nice keyboard. Cable. And then down here we've got, I believe, let's see. Okay, we have some hardware, little feet, etc., etc. And then we've got, feels pretty empty. It's empty, I guess, because I didn't get the keycaps. So, there you go. All right. What do we have here? We've got the basics, stabilizers, screws, little rubber feet, little metal feet. I'll set those aside. And they're literally destroying the house next door right now with a backhoe. So, might be a little noisy, I don't know. Here we go. All right. This is, I have to say, first impressions are, it's outstanding. Looks great. A little bit of a blemish down here, maybe. Nothing I can't live with. But, yeah, overall pretty good. Very thin. Feels substantial. Let's drop it. We'll do a little bit of like a... Well, it didn't sound very good because of the rattle, but it's pretty heavy. I don't know if I can give you a sense of the weight. Alright. PCB. And... Oop. This is actually, while I'm building the other guy, this I'm loving right now. It's a Leopold 660 M, right, so the cherry version. And I popped the PCB out and I put in a clue board. And this is probably one of the and custom springs. So I've got black stems in Gatoron blacks. And then I switched the springs out for, I guess the main fingers are 62, and the pinky is 60, wherever it hits. And I love it. It's great. It's so, I mean, these things are heavy, so I'm not sure they're the best travel keyboards, which kind of makes me sad because it's a real joy to type on. Let's see, maybe I don't need to cut that open. Come on. There we go. All right. Let me check out. How do I monitor this? Okay. All right, so there we go. That's the PCB. Let me switch over here to the zoom cam. Zoom cam. See if I can do this. I got this all set up. All right, so we're going to transition here and look at the PCB kind of close up. And boy, you know, I should probably like flip that around or something. Let's flip this around so we're looking at the text the right way. So, I mean, the PCB is pretty stock standard. You get a cute little fox on there. Ooh. And I'm going to give you guys a pro tip. When you're doing live streaming and you're moving the PCB off camera, don't accidentally stick your hand on your soldering iron. It may or may not have just happened. All right. Close. Close. But I did not touch it. Let's see. So first things first, let's get some switches out. I'm going to kind of scooch this over to the side. And switches are coming up. Let's see. So I don't really know what I'm going to use in here. I've got these guys. These are browns. Gatoron browns. I've never been into browns. I've never used browns. I'm not really sure that's a great idea for me to put something I've never used in a board. And I've got these Gatoron blacks. I love these Gatoron blacks. Rock the house, I tell you what. So Gatoron blacks or Gatoron browns. Oh, Zoom's still on. Thank you. Dingus is actually my middle name, not my first name, but that's okay. Alright. Gatoron blacks. See, I don't know how to use this software yet. I mean, literally, this is like, I just set this up. I'm using Open Broadcaster Studio, which is, I think, the only software I could find that would run on Arch to do this live streaming. Alright, so Gatoron blacks we got. And Gatoron browns. In fact, let's do another inset here. There we go. How's that? I'm gonna pop one of these browns open. Oh, got one side. There we go. Whew, my hands look dry, man. I need some lotion. Alright. So these browns. I'm kind of torn between using these guys and using clear stems. I want to go tactile with this. I think I'm just going to use the browns. I've got a whole mess of them here. Let's do it. Let's do this thing. And I'm not going to switch out the springs for now. We'll set that guy aside. Alright. So the way I'm going to do this, let's make sure I've got this oriented correctly. It's looking right. And I'm going to pop one of them in. And then also, of course, I've done this wrong before. I'm going to double check to make sure that I've got this oriented correctly so that it'll slot in to the PCB. How's that going on? Let's see. Oh, of course, I've got the PCB upside down. There we go. All right, that's gonna work. I am always on the fence about using these the little feet, those little tiny feet, right? Let's see if I can point those out. And I know these are for PCBs, right? These little guys right here. I always want to clip them off. I find them a real hassle to get into the PCB. But we're going to pop those in. So I'm just going to set this up like this, kind of get the four corners. Alright, it's looking good. I don't know what it is about the browns that just do not inspire me. It's the color. Yeah, the little feet and the PCB, it is more stable, isn't it? Alright, so what I'm doing right now is I've got the four corners done, right? I've got switches in the four corners. And I've got them positioned over the PCB. I'm just going to double check to make sure that the pins are not bent. Done that before and soldered all those suckers in, let me tell you. That wasn't fun. So I've got them in there. The pins look good. You can see those pins are going to come through, and we're going to push it down now. Oh. Kind of popped it out on the other side, but that's okay. I'm just going to push this down. So what I'm doing now is I've got the key is seated. Let me actually go back out. The key is seated here on the plate. And I think my technique is going to be just to push down. There's a little click. That feels like it's seated nicely. And it's still in the plate that way. Oh yeah, you know what? Bottom row. Let's see. Make sure you get your bottom row right, says cardiologist. Cardiologist. Okay, so you're not a cardiologist? I'm glad you told me now. Okay, before you solder, yes, bottom row. I will try to get it right. Is there something that you're thinking of specifically? Like, I'll tell you what I've done before. This is like confessional. When I did this clue board right here. Oh no, wait, not the clue board, sorry. It's this guy right here. So I just built this. This is a GH60, one of those eBay specials, Satan GH60. And I built this guy up, and somehow I screwed up the stabilizers down here. They're fine now, except for that rattle, which drives me a little nuts. I'm going to try to lubricate that later. But yeah, so what I did is I had built this whole sucker up, and I had put the stabilizers in the bottom on the spacebar stabilizers were just mispositioned, or there was a problem with the wire or something. And boy, it was a hassle. I had to really use like a tweezers to get the wire in there and rework. I probably took the stabilizers out a half dozen times. Hassle. So yeah, bottom row, I will try to get it right. Oh, I think what you're talking about is, or maybe you're not. I was going to say maybe you're talking about the different options for positioning, different keycaps or different switches. That was actually a real hassle on this GH60. Yeah, right. You got it. Yeah, Sean. The plate does define the layout. Whoa, I have a diffuser, a light diffuser here, which I just slapped. This is a total jerry-rigged live streaming setup, I will tell you. But yeah, no, this plate right here, I had that same problem where, like these guys down here, I was real careful when I was laying the switches out on the plate in the PCB because you have so many options. But overall, honestly, not too bad. I'm kind of happy with this GH60. I did put a little weight in the bottom. You can see that metal weight. That's just a piece of bar stock from Home Depot. And I did that just to give it a little bit of heft because otherwise it's pretty light. All right. See. Yeah, audio is mono. Sorry, that really sucks. I know that. All right, let's see how fast I can hustle on this guy. Yeah, so I got the True Fox layout for the bottom row, primarily. And I don't know, after I bought it, I was kind of going back and forth regretting, do I want a different layout? I mean, I've tried a lot of crazy layouts. Let me get a board that I built here. So this was a matrix build. This is all, oh, there we go. So this board I built from scratch, and I had the plate cut and the wiring. And honestly, oh man, I'll never do a matrix again, I can tell you that. I like, I had a couple planks for a while, and I like, as far as they go, I mean, if you're into matrix, man, plank's awesome as well. I like those steel plates. But I just cannot cope with, I can't go back and forth between a matrix layout and a traditional layout. It's got to be one or the other for me. My brain does not remap that fast. Cardiologist, yes, I am the solarized dude. Not my official title. All right. This is now kind of haphazard. I'm just putting these in. But anyhow, thank you, cardiologist. All right is what I aspire to. Okay. It's starting to feel good. I don't know, browns. I feel like this is too much commitment for me. But from the looks of this plate, obviously, I will be able to pop the tops and switch out the stems and switch out the springs, which I usually do 3 or 4 times, going back and forth. I'm really into these 62 and 60 gram springs right now. The one thing that I'm nervous about is sometimes I'll put these switches in, and I swear every time there is this one that is a little cattywampus, and it'll be just off a little bit, just angled a little bit, and you only notice it really. Like, I'll look through and I'll do a visual check, I will solder it up, and then you put on your keycaps and you're like, there is one switch that is just not straight. All right. All right, I'm just gonna pop these suckers in along here, and then I'll flip it over. So I'm gonna do a bunch of these, and then I'm gonna push down. So another bit of trivia here is when I did this clue board rebuild, so I stripped out the old PCB, took out all the switches, desoldered everything, which was a nightmare, of course. And then I built it up, and I didn't think what I was doing, or I didn't think it through, and I actually mounted all the switches. I took all the switches, and I put the switches into the plate, and I got it all ready. And then I took the PCB, and I just tried to mate them together, and they were PCB switches. It was the dumbest thing, because then you just can't force all the switches through at the same time. There is a reason why you have to do it bit by bit like this. So that PCB is actually, if you look at it, the switches in the center of the PCB are not. The pins don't come through quite as far as the switches on the edge of the board, the pins on the edge of the board. Problematic. That's why I'm not a mechanical engineer, I guess. All right, let's feel seated. Captain Jack, you can just use your imagination, my friend. If I angle this camera, I'll tell you what, though, you're going to see how messy this office is right now. Embarrassingly messy. Yeah, Cardologist, I do reflow, or I just desolder. I'll tell you what I also love is this desoldering tool right here. This is the best desoldering tool I've ever had. Solder sucker. And the reason it's great is because it's got on the end of it, it's got this little silicone tubing, just standard silicone tubing. I don't know what it is, probably 2 millimeter inner diameter. That's a guess, by the way, I'm not sure. But I could measure and find out. So you can replace it. Unlike every other piece of crap solder sucker that I've ever used with like a hard tip, this is nice. It stands up to the heat. It makes a really good seal when you press it down against the board. And you kind of get your thin solder tip right underneath it. It's awesome. Okay, we're gonna go back to wide view. Getting the hang of this broadcasting software. Rocking it. Okay. I'm thinking I probably should be doing this somehow like a slightly different way. I don't know, maybe putting the switches in, not all in a row, but having done like 2 rows at the same time, but we'll see. So I feel like it's going to be harder to get the rest of those switches in. We'll see. There we go. Okay. Oh, see, look at that. Thought I had that one seated, but no, popped out a little bit. Of course, you know what I should have done? Shoulda, woulda, coulda. I should have tested this board by plugging it in right away, which I always do, except for this time, so I guess always no longer. Just test it and then kind of short out the pads on the PCB just to make sure that it's working. Although at this point, if it wasn't working, I would just figure it out and see if it was a trace. The last thing I'm going to do is send this thing back. That drop on mass drop took forever. These are Gatorons. Yes. Gatoron browns. Have never used browns. I use clears and I use blacks, and that's it. Reds maybe once or twice when I was feeling crazy. But no, mostly I just stick with blacks. I really am into cherry blacks and Gatoron blacks. I like the Gatoron switches. I don't know what kind of rep they have. But yeah, anyhow, so I'm using these Gatoron browns, like, first time. Am I gonna hate browns? Maybe. Maybe not. I can tell you I do not like this color. You know what I want are some of those Zelio switches. I'm gonna order some of those. Plug it in now. Yeah, what the heck, let's do that. Oh, of course. Micro. Is this charge only? We'll see. Let's see if this is a charge only cable. Okay, we're plugged in, and let me bring up something that's not gonna do gedit. Okay, I'm gonna short out some alphanumerics here. Nothing. 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 And why is that? I'm guessing that might be a charge only cable. So let's switch. Maybe this one. All right, plug it in this other cable. Try it again. Firmware is pre-flashed, I believe. No, I don't really use gedit. Use Vim because I'm an American man. No, that's not happening either. So, I mean, you know, at this point then, it's either dead or it's probably much more likely that I pulled another charge-only cable. Oh, dude, they gave me a cable in the box. This right here, people, is the wisdom of the crowd in action. Thank you, chat. All right. Yeah, demessage, okay. Not a bad idea. UDEV. Any of the above. Because I'm lazy and I just want this to work. But I think you're right. Let's bring a little terminal into the business here. Oh yeah, no, it mounts. Well, I shouldn't say it mounts, but it's showing up. White Fox, yep. Hid generic. So I'm really not going to worry about that right now. I mean, what could go wrong? A million things. Man, you guys are telling me all just gems, diamonds, all of this chat. This is great. Use the USB cable. Use dmessage. I'm just glad I got the live stream working. Ugh. Any of you in Pacific Northwest, there's a Seattle meetup coming up. Keyboard meetup in July. I don't know if I'm going to make it. Kind of bummed. Maybe. Little bent or something there. Don't know. No, not London. Not in the UK. If you're in the UK, I miss London. Though last time I went, I'll tell you, I had like in London the dampest Airbnb I have ever been in. It was like sleeping in somebody's armpit, which is about as comfortable as it sounds. All right. Getting some bent pins or something. Maybe just harder to go in once I get all this going on. And you know, Cherry MX stabilizers or Co-Star? Co-Star, is that right? What those suckers are called? No, the Browns, I am just... What is that with Browns? I mean, they're like barely tactical. I'm not super excited right now about the Browns. I'm super excited about this board, assuming that it actually types and doesn't just mount. Maybe I do have to flash the firmware. Although, if it is reporting that it's HID generic, I assume it's flashed and booting. We will see. Yeah, these are, I don't know. Not enthusiastic right now. Maybe it's just because my... Let's see. Yeah, they're okay. Huh? Mustering enthusiasm. That's what I'm doing right now. Alright. Yeah, I may swap the springs. I may actually put LEDs in here. I've never done that before. I do not get... I don't know. Again, if you're at all capable and can touch type, which I assume is all of us here, I don't get backlighting. I'm not into fancy LED colors. Yeah, good idea. Throw a few keycaps on. Okay. We're gonna get out. Let's break out the DSA. Oh, let's see. Yeah, we'll do DSA. DSA because I'm lazy. I'll try it. I run SA when I type like a normal human. Okay. I like DSA. They're, I don't know, what do I like about it? I like, you know, they're good, low profile keys, good for like a slim, if you have like a slim sleeve. You want to pop something in your backpack, your bag. Things I don't like, a little thin, I don't know, a little chintzy feeling. They, you know, they have like a real high pitch when you type. I like the thunk of an SA profile. But I don't know, I can type pretty dang fast on DSA, I tell you that. And it's probably just because my fingers are not getting hung up on the profile. Let's see. Yeah, SA is crazy tall. Although, you know what, I'll tell you, so this is another thing I really like about this keyboard right here. So, I'm not, sorry, not this keyboard, I'm going to show you the other one. So, let's take a look. First, you can see the profile. This is the GH60. It's a standard 60% case. And you see this clear kind of curvature, right? Okay. Then, let's compare it to this Leopold case with the clue board inside. Let it autofocus up. And you can see that even with the SA profile, it's a very flat profile on the top. So I mean, there's just not as, the curvature is not as pronounced. And that's one of the reasons I like this Leopold case. Let's do a little close to the mic action here. Yeah, not bad. Not bad so far. All right. The essays, I guess for a while. So my first essay set was Penumbra, for obvious reasons, I guess. And first of all, I mean, I do love it. I love the set, but I just also love the feel. There's a real, I don't know, there's like a warmth to using them. Like I say warmth, like, you know, how plastic can have a warmth to it. Just very, you know, the feeling, the shiny plastic, it's very smooth. So SA, I mean, this DSA, this is Dolce DSA, and it's got that kind of texture feel, which is fine. It's just a different experience. So yeah, I don't know, I kind of go back and forth between what I prefer. I'm definitely in an SA mode right now. Whoa. Okay. And the sound, you know, like the sound of SA, you're right, because it's, you know, it's thick and it's got that thunk, thunk, thunk. Like if I'm not, I like the sound of a happy hacking keyboard. I've got one of those too, which I rewired. Oh, see, these suckers are just not, you really got to push them down hard at this stage. All right, maybe I'll bring up my IRC client. And Twitter. There we go. Okay. All right, almost there, almost done. Also, I'm not sure that I love this like super clear keycap top. I have a whole bunch of these guys as well. These are Gatorons, obviously, these milky Gatorons. I really love the way these look. Don't know why, just like them. They look pretty. They look nice with those black stems. All right, that's all she wrote. I think they are in. Just gonna make sure everything is seated now. No, I have to solder them in too, yeah. Yo, Input Club. Who is this from Input Club? Oh, there we go. See, look at that top row was totally seated. And now I can feel that they've just worked their way out a little bit. Hi, Andrew. I don't think I know you, Andrew, but I guess I know you now. Oh, there we go. This is like OCD level keycap seating, but you know, like I said, it always ends up, and I'm just doing a quick visual check right now. So, you know, I'm just eyeballing it like this, real carefully, getting close. Let's do another, let's take a quick look here. We'll switch to our zoom mode. All right. I mean, look at that, is a sexy plate. No doubt. Love it. Love it. Yeah, actually, these clear tops, not bad. So let's just do a little compare and contrast. There's our milky top. Oh, look at that guy, though. Pretty stuff. And then these super clear Gatorons. Browns. Why couldn't we have picked a different color than brown? All right. So I'm going to just seat it in there right now. And let's transition back to our wide view, just to kind of feel it before I solder it up. Trevor. Yep, Ethan level. There you go. Thank you. If we could just start doing that on the internet now, instead of OCD, just say Ethan, I'm fine with that. I embrace that. I'm comfortable with my own mania. Oh, this is feeling good. I was on the fence about these browns, but I think, you know, individually, browns feel totally, yeah, there's a little scratch in the back. Not bad, though. Not bad at all. I'll show you. That you're looking at, there's a hole there, but that's, I'm assuming that's the reset switch underneath that. Minor scratch. I don't even think you can see it. Where is it? See, look at, you can, I mean, it is like only if the light, oh, there it is. Minor. That is not a deal breaker for me. If there was like a big old, believe me, I mean, this thing is gonna get worse. This is the bottom of the case. It's gonna see worse for me. I'm rough on my gear, I'll admit it. I'm rough because I love rough. Yeah, no, this is good. I'm happy with it. Let's see here. We got our soldering iron ready to go. Got our solder ready to go. Look at that. Do I have? Yeah, I've got major scratches on this desk, man. Woohoo. This is one of those tables from IKEA. You know, the standing tables that go up and down, the motorized ones. I really totally endorse it. Cheap, works great. And I just use any old top with it. Okay, ready to solder, ready to commit. Time is it? I need to make sure that I don't lose track of the time. I have children that need to be picked up from school. Okay. Now I'm doing this in my office, and the only problem with that is that I don't have my smoke absorber, my real smoke absorber. So if I die and pass out from like the fumes or asphyxiation, I assume that the live chat will let somebody know. Here we go. Yeah, I know. The fumes are terrible. Well, let's see. I don't know how loud that is. Ah, screw it. How many, did you guys see that shot? There was a video of Steve Wozniak recently, and he was soldering up like an old Apple II. He was like holding the solder in his mouth, breathing in the fumes. Gotta get close here. It's not a good joint. Not a beautiful joint. Let me adjust the temperature. And I will say, the one thing that I always do, yeah, Jacob, I just went through, I made sure all those switches are seated. I'm pretty obsessed about that. Just a touch more. Okay. So we can see everything going on here. There we go. Yeah, not my finest work, but in my defense, I've got a camera in between me and the board. There we go. Much better. Much better. I always use flux wash on these whiteboards because I hate the way the flux looks. Totally recommend that. You want a nasty chemical, by the way. Oh man, it's got to be that flux wash. I do not know what's in it. Yeah, no, that's just flux. That's flux, and that'll come. You will not see that. That will wash right off. I will not do it in here though, because that flux wash, it is just called flux wash, and flux wash is about the nastiest chemical that I have in my repertoire. Maybe, well, I shouldn't say that. I mean, but it's like acetone level fumes, the kind of fumes you just don't want to inhale. The kind of fumes that your liver will just not be happy about. Ooh. And you know, the trick for me here is always like, don't use too much solder. Because on the off chance that I want to desolder later, rework. You know, it's much easier when there isn't too much. And I'm using full lead, not full lead solder, but you know, whatever, 60-40. None of that lead-free stuff for us, mister. Woohoo. I don't know. I think back to when I was a kid. I used to paint those little D&D figures. Like, those lead D&D figures with lead paint. Oh man, like, you know, tipping the paintbrush with your tongue or something. I mean, just stupid things that we never thought about. In my house that was no doubt painted with lead paint. Was that what they were called, Trevor? Partha? Maybe, huh? I don't remember now. Those brain cells, those memory cells, those have atrophied due to the lead exposure. Yep. The trick is just getting the... Alright. There we go. No, I gotta eyeball this. I feel like some of those joints are not beautiful. Like this guy right here. I actually bought a really good magnifier. Ah, they're okay. Nope, no, come on. A little bit more. That might have been it, Trevor, I don't know. I remember I had an awesome wizard, though, with a staff. And I had some, like, kobolds or something like that. But then, you know, we were poor, so I just got, like, the lead figures that were on sale. So it was always, like, the monsters that nobody ever had in their campaigns. But then I would use them in campaigns because I had the figures. Yeah, I'd say this is looking... It's not bad. Wait, where's my... Wide transition? There we go. So I'm just giving this another quick glance here. Oh no, see there's a bad... No, I wouldn't say bad joint, but... Yeah, bad. Bad, bad, bad. Not enough solder on those guys. I'll regret this later if I have to rework these. But luckily, as I was saying, this plate lets you pop the tops. All plates should be like that. I don't see any reason to manufacture a plate without those little cutouts. I'm loving this smoke, I'll tell you what. I don't know why I use a smoke absorber. I'm just gonna go straight back to inhaling this stuff. Whew. Man. Alright, that's looking good. Pre-flash, yeah, let's check it out. Let's check it out. let's bring up. Oh, what am I on? Shoot, sorry. There we go. Hey! Hello, Canada. Wake up, keyboard. I'm gonna reset it. Oh, there we go. Let there be life. Okay, that's good. So we have light. I'm sure that we can get this going. Nothing yet. D-message likes it. Let's see again. Yep. Let's see. White Fox. But no joy. No output. Can I do screen capture? No, wait. Window capture. There we go. Window capture. Let's capture terminal. Oh, that's not going to work, is it? Shoot. Yeah, I think I'll just, yeah, hit listen, which I don't think I have installed on this machine right now. I just set this new box up. Yeah, I'll have to install it. Virtual serial port, okay. Well, I'm just going to finish, I think I'm going to finish soldering it up a bit. I am not worried about the PCB at this point. All right. Yeah, there you go. Can always hardwire it. I do love hardwiring, no doubt. And I say that sincerely, I really do. Like, this. Right? Oh, let's bring this, let me switch to wide view. Waving my soldering iron around. But I love the way that this looks. That is sexy stuff right there. And I think the next one of these that I do, like one of these DIY kind of cut a plate situations, I'm going to try to get the gap between the top, let's see, this gap here between the top and this base plate, the acrylic, I'm going to get that to be as absolutely minimal as possible so that the base of the switches, that big round part of the switch, is going to press right up against the acrylic and just give it as much stability and lack of flex as possible. There we go. Oh, man. It's smoke. Wow, I don't know if that smoke is really visible on camera or not, but these are like billowing clouds. You know, I'll tell you that what used to really, I used to not worry too much about the smoke. I mean, I would like not breathe it. But what really stopped me is once I got a smoke absorber and I started using it and I changed the filter. You change the filter in a smoke absorber after you have used it for, you know, for some serious soldering, and there's like caked white powder that you know is filled with lead and would go right into your lungs otherwise. Much as is happening now, unfortunately. I want to buy one of those Hacko? I don't know how you pronounce it, but I'm going to say Hacko. Smoke absorbers that are freestanding. This is a kind of a cheap reflow, solder rework station that I'm using right now. Does the job though. Woohoo. Whoa. 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 There we go. Knew it. Knew it. Right there. Dang it. All right. Pin did not come through the board. I checked all those. Look at that. I don't know if you can see this. Look at that. It just pulled that solder up. Love this solder sucker. Oh yeah, look at that. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, let's figure out what's going on with that. There's always a bad switch. I mean, that is like a golden rule of building keyboards, is there's always a bad switch. And it's this guy right here. So we're gonna push that out. Look at that. Well, I'm just gonna set that aside. Yeah, that solder sucker that is the stuff, I'll tell you what. It is, the brand on that is, let's see if you can see this. Engineer SS02, made in Japan. Solder sucker, in case you weren't sure. Love it. Okay, let's get this back in there. Yeah, that, boy, life-changing. I mean, you know, I was not born yesterday. I have been using solder suckers a long time. I do not know why I cheaped out. You know, it's like buying a good pair of shoes. I used to be like, shoes, they're on your feet. The ground is dirty. I'm not going to buy a good pair of shoes. And I remember the first time I bought a good pair of shoes, which like 15 years later, I think I still have that same pair. And it changed my outlook entirely on shoes. This solder sucker, this is that pair of shoes. Should have bought it a long time ago. All right. Okay, take that. Oh, and I missed a switch too. Well, we're doing this live. What do you expect? How's that looking? I think that's looking okay. I cannot wait to use my flux wash. Boy, you just do not see on camera the hideous, hideous amount of smoke coming up. But I assure you, it is just terrific. All right, eyeball this here. Eyeball this row. I'd say it's looking okay. You know, I give my soldering on this job a 6 out of 10. I've done much better. And I've also, oh shoot, look at that. Bad switch number 2. You know, I'm gonna go through, so here's what I'm gonna do. I am gonna go through and check all these pins to make sure that I didn't screw something else up. But I'm certainly giving this solder sucker a workout. Okay, let's try that once more. The spring in this thing is super strong in the solder sucker, and I'll tell you that you got to really push it down, and I sometimes do not get it right. Let's try it. Yeah, see? Oh, there we go. All right. Let's try pushing this guy out. Nope. Nope. Well, that's going to be, see, now this is going to be a problem right there. I'm going to have to pop this guy out because there's a pin. I mean, you know, I'll tell you, if you wanted to be sloppy about it, and I don't, right down in there, let's see if I can angle it, you can see underneath the pad through the board, you can see the pin, which is folded over on switch 31 there. So I'm not going to leave it like that. And in fact, I'm going to leave here in a moment to go get my kids. Yep, see, this is one of those situations. I use too much solder on this one, and it's going to be tricky. I'm going to have to push it out as I heat it up. And what I don't want to do is push so hard that as that happens, it pulls a trace off the other side or something like that. So I'm going to be careful. I'm going to take a breather here. Not a literal breather because, my God, this room is filled with smoke. But I think I'm going to take a pause and go get my kids and then fix that switch. So thanks, everyone. I'm going to finish this later. All right, and I'm going to sign off here. Thanks a lot for hanging out while I did this. This was kind of fun. It was fun for me, at least. And I'll probably do some more of these. So, yeah, it'll be on the same channel, same URL. Probably be back in about, I don't know, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. Oh, 10:30 p.m. Depends what time your mom makes you go to bed. I'm totally kidding. Totally kidding. Mostly kidding. I go to, and you know, listen, I go to bed at like somewhere between 9 and 3 a.m., but like earlier and earlier. because I'm old and because I have kids. So there you go. So I'm not making fun of you. All right, people. Peace out. Lots of fun. Hmm.